Hello everyone, so this is my origin story. About in 2015, I'm working at a mobile game company, right? And to work in the game industry has always been my passion. And my whole life, right, educational life was amazing. I went, it's almost like a very smooth route of like, I always get to where I wanted to. I wanted to study games. I went to polytechnics to study game design. After that, when I went to universities, I studied in interactive media, which was the closest thing that I can go to right towards building more games while I'm studying. And there was a lot of experiences that I had during my studies and subsequently me moving into the game industry. So I've been working in the game industry for about 7 years, and in 2015, that was the year where I was like a game producer, and I'm managing like a team of like 20 people that's filled with artists, programmers, designers, and they are all like really amazing people. And 2015, right, was a very kind of a memorable year for me, right, because that was also where I hit with my biggest peak that I hit for my career while I was in the game industry. And this was like I was making a game at the Japanese mobile game company, and it took like 1.5 years for me to finish it. And why did it took so long? It was also like there was a lot of hiccups, and like the game was basically like more or less like completed, right? And then over a course of half a year, we keep presenting to upper management, get rejected. Then I had to go back to my team and tell them, sorry, the game has been deleted again and again, right, for like 5 to 6 times over the course of half a year. And that has caused me a lot of pain. And being is something that I'm so passionate about, and this is like I can really say that I am working in a field that I'm like I love it. I love the work that I'm doing. That whole process just tired me out so much, right? That when I enter the office, right, my colleagues couldn't even dare come forward to greet me because like my face is just so gloomy, and like like there's some dark clouds coming on my face, right? And then they are just very afraid, right, to talk to me, right? Even like when I was working with them for like more than a year, and it has been a very good experience working together. And that period of time was really the darkest moment of my life, right, so far. And even when I'm meeting my friends, they could tell that I'm just not in a very good mood when I'm meeting them for dinner. And there was this friend that met me up, and then it was her especially, right, suing, that actually like brought me up from the deepest darkest moment of my life. And she looked at me. She could tell me that you don't look good. There's something wrong with you. Then you need a change of mindset. You need to get out of what you have been always been doing, which I know from the educational pathway all the way to me working in the games industry. It has been like more than I would say 15 years of my life. Now my whole life was like filled up with like learning of the game industry, learning to become a part of the game industry, right? And she told me, she gave me this ticket, right? And it was the very first seminar that I have ever participated. That marks the beginning, right, of where I am today and where I'm constantly moving forward towards finding out what I really want and going towards what I really wanted. And she gave me this ticket, right, to this seminar called the Millionaire Mind Intensive. And that is a program, right, that was brought to Singapore by Success Resources. And it was this signature program that was created by T.R. Ecker. And that was the very first program that I've ever participated, right? And then that just opened up a whole new world that I was like totally oblivious. Like I've never cared to find out about my finances. I'm someone that really don't care about how much I'm earning. I just do something that I like, and I just keep doing it. When I have money in my bank, when I saw that I have enough money, then I just take a trip travel overseas and then visit friends that I've met from all around the world. Right, that it's like a catch-up session, and after going for that seminar, right, then that's where it started to I have a mindset change, right, and I started to wanted to do more about improving myself to become the better version of me, and also started exploring into starting my own business and that led me to meeting a lot of wonderful people, including my very first mentor, Benny. So, and throughout this whole journey, I've met so many amazing people. that has these people, right, that has really helped me along the way, right, to really discover what I wanted to do, what I am capable of doing, and from there I actually started like my very first venture into my very first business I ever started. Right, was actually at first I wanted to start like a board game rental business. Then as I start to explore on the idea, right, then like it just didn't work out because like the delivery cost, the amount of damage that's going to be incurred, like missing pieces, and how you need to replace those parts, right, of your board games when you rent them out, right? It's like it's very hectic. And somehow through whether is it a stroke of luck or by coincidence, right, I came across this Kickstarter product, and it's actually something that came out, and it's still something I'm using now to like teach kids about how to design and make a game. Right? It's this product called Bloxels, and then it's a very interesting like physical to digital approach where the kids, right, can actually design their games like a Mario piece, like a Mario type of game, right, and they design it on this physical board that allows you to fill it up with like color cubes, and each color represents like different elements inside a game, and then you scan it into the app. Straight away it becomes a game that you can actually play, and that kind of kick-started my journey to like explore. I can actually teach this to kids, right, and groom the future game industry like talents, right, and give them like a pathway of what I went through. Like when I was 15, my art teacher brought me to a polytechnic, right, and over there I saw like, that was like the first polytechnic, right, in Singapore, right, that actually had a game design course, and I was like, oh, this is really cool, man. This is something that I really like, right? And then that paved all my pathway towards the kind of education that I'm looking for, what I wanted to learn and what I want to get into. And I decided, why not I do the same for to really inspire more kids to really look into something that they like. It might not be games, but through how I'm teaching it, I really wanted to inspire them to find something that they love and not just study for grades, get your A's, but then you have no idea what you really wanted to do in the future. And that went on, I started with zero cash. It's really just, I paid for the Kickstarter product. Was like, it was fun. I bought it, and then when the product came, I thought it was really interesting, and then I went ahead and presented to like a enrichment school, and then they got interested, and that is just how I started my very first class. And as the first class kickstart, and more classes started coming, right, and then I reinvested the money that I got back into the business, and then started to purchase like equipments, and then I was able to do like bigger and bigger classes, right? And without me knowing, I started to develop a lot more curriculums and classes, right? From understanding designing to character design, animation, doing program, even going to game programming for all these kids, right, to be able to experience. And that has went on a very side hustle kind of basis, right, for close to about two and a half years. And after doing it for that long of time as a side hustle, now I realized that why am I not growing anywhere? It just seems that I'm able to close in classes, but I'm not able to get it bigger than I would have hoped for it to be. I have I tried out a few plans. I wanted to organize a kids game creation competition, get them involved, and then teach them, and they can make the games and then show it on a big stage. And it all happened, but it just didn't seem to continue to scale like I wanted it to be. And that just hit me with the second kind of hit that I would kind of see it as this is something that I even didn't realize that I was failing in my business because I was like, I was comfortable doing a lot of things myself. I was trained as an artist and then subsequently became a designer. I self-learned programming, so I'm kind of like jack of all trades, right? And I can do all sorts of things. I can, video edit, I can do graphic, I can design, I can do my own programming, and then I'm just not that fast and that good as all the people that I've known that is working for me and then has been producing really amazing results, right? And that got me to think, this kids education thing, right, is really going nowhere. Maybe it's just the product is not ready for the market. Like games is still like a taboo for a lot of parents, right? That they would not want their kids to go and learn. They're even having trouble trying to stop their kids from playing games, right? And now they have to learn to make games, which they still kind of like tie it together with like, this is games, and they just don't want their kids to be anywhere near games. Games are addictive, games are violence, and yeah, there's all these negative impressions that has been around the world, right? And a lot of people, a lot of parents that might not think otherwise will just not come to attend these kind of classes, and that got me to further explore. And then I went back to look for Benny, and that by the time his company was actually handed on to like the current CEO of the company, that was Gabriel, and that was like my second mentor that I really learned a lot. And he's a master of marketing, and he has been doing Facebook marketing for a lot of people. Some of the clients that we have in Singapore, it's like we are making like millions of dollars for them, right? And then he's really good at getting people in, and then they click on to register for the seminars and then come for the actual classes. And through working together with him, I started to do a lot more like the design, graphic design work. I had to create like all the elements that they require to build like the funnels that they are building, and come up with all the different e-covers for the products and the services that we're actually providing, right? And that got me to really look back at there is actually a lot of skill sets that I've accumulated over the years of my training and being in the game industry. I always deemed that games has a very tough market to fight, because gamers, if you know that you are a gamer out there, you know that you are probably the toughest crowd of people, right? And it's hardest to please. It's really so hard, right, to really get gamers, right, to take out their wallets, right, and pay for games nowadays, especially in the mobile games market. So much so that in a typical game, mobile online game, right, that's free to play on your mobile phone, right, your paying customer rate, right, is only about 3 to 4%, and you are having player base, right, of up to 5-6 million people. Yeah, that means out of these 5-6 million, there's only about 100,000+ people that's actually paying for a game. And this is pretty much similar with some of the SaaS, software as a service companies that I see out there, like Spotify, and they are also having issues because there's just too many people right that's using the services for free and not paying anything. And then I just decided that no, this might not be the industry that I want to continue. Not for now, because even though I'm still very passionate, right, and I know that in future when I'm ready, right, I really wanted to go back and really continue to groom future talent, right, for the game industry, and also to apply, right, what I've been learning in business, in marketing, right, that all this knowledge that I've accumulated, right, are like principles that work across so many different industries, right, and just why is the game industry still using a very unique way that seems to work within the game industry, but is there things that I can bring from the stuff that I've learned, right, outside the game industry, and apply it back to get people in the game industry to really think about how to build it as a business? Because there's too many people around me, right, that I see them start their studios, and then same thing they're passionate about, they build a game that they really like, but then when the game launch, or goes to nothing because there's just no one coming in to really buy it and buy their game, and then that's the end of their venture. And they got sad. They either go back and get into becoming employee, or they just leave the game industry, entirely. And that is just painful to watch. Yeah, so that brings me to my second win, where I really found another strength of me that I didn't really realize, because I always felt that my graphic design skills, right, is probably not the top notch. It's like I'm probably not like I have a lot of designer friends around me, right, and then like a lot of them, right, are really so much better at coming up with all these graphical and be having like more eye to be able to spot like all these different things. And then, but when I was working in the marketing company under Gabriel, right, then that's where I started to learn a lot more. There's a lot of things that's more. It's not about just purely aesthetics. It's really about how you mix up aesthetics, right, with functionality, and getting people, right, to be able to view the content that you're creating, right, and then guide their attention. And then, like, if you know that whatever that you're presenting to them, right, is of value to them, then you want them to hang around for a longer period of time through whether is it beautiful copywriting. When they read, they feel that, oh, as I read more, I can visualize what is the things that I'm actually going to get, right, from the content I'm seeing. And as much as words can create a lot of visualization for people, some people just might not have that imagination skills, right? And then that's where like the visuals, right, will be able to help to guide their reading process and understand the whole content, right? And then being able to get more value out of it. And that's where I started to go further down, right, and exploring. And that is what brought me here right now, participating in the One Funnel Way Challenge. And I believe that the way of doing funnel, right, is really just something that has been proven to work. And I'm very eager to really join in on the ClickFunnels community, right, and then to do it together with Gabriel, and really to launch more product and services, right, especially in the graphic design. And particularly where I found that there's something that I've learned from the game industry, that is like, when we are playing games on such a small screen and then there's so many things that's happening, there's actually a lot of things that we have like keep on trying out and testing, right, in order to get the best attention out of the players that actually play the game. And I realized that when people are doing up funnels, they usually do it on their desktop, and then it's like you have laptops, or you have like your big PCs, right? And then they have, some of them have really humongous screens, and they will be, I mean, typically they will like have maybe a 13-inch laptop screen, and that is a typical viewing of the website and the funnel that they are building. And a lot of times, even myself, when I started designing funnels for Gabriel, I always started with making the desktop version, right, look as nice as possible. Then after that, I switched over to the mobile view in ClickFunnels, right, and then I started to make all the adjustments, and then I need to tweak the font size smaller, or some of these places are not working, and then I have to turn it off, and then duplicate another set of section and elements, right, and then replace it with mobile friendly elements. And it got me thinking, because like I don't know the exact numbers. I remember I read somewhere, right, it was about 60+% right, of people, right, nowadays I mean, you always kind of view the internet through the mobile phone more often than on your desktop, unless you are working. So when you're working, you'll be like, no, I'm doing all these things. But then if you're out there, or you're on the go, or you're like just doing your own casual browsing on Facebook, or whichever content viewer that you're viewing, right, usually you tend to use the mobile phone more nowadays. It's getting more and more prominent. And it's even more scary that like in China, right, I remember reading this report that there's over 90% of traffic, right, that happens within China, right, happens on the mobile phone. I mean, China literally just skipped past a whole generation of using whether is it playing games on consoles. Like, they don't have the console era, they just straight away from PC games, where everybody play online, multiplayer online games, right? And they straight away jump to the mobile era. And there's so many things that is developing within China, right? There's all mobile focus, and they do whether is it like their WeChats, they have like TikToks. In China, they call it Douyin, and then all these things, right, are designed for mobile first. Douyin is like a Instagram stories purely version of a social media. Like, it's a social media platform, right, that actually only show you Instagram like stories, and all of them, right, are like full vertical videos, right, and there's a lot of interesting content that's on it, and then it's probably the next upcoming social media platform, in my prediction. And I start to realize that why not start to do a lot more, to really think about building funnels, right? That is actually not just mobile friendly, but you devise your strategies around how a user, right, is actually viewing your funnels on a mobile screen, that is able to present them with the right amount of like content, or to control the flow of things that they are viewing, right? So that as they are viewing the thing, they don't feel that they are bombarded with too many information, or like at least it's structured in a way that as you're viewing stuff, there's a kind of like a flow of I see some visual graphics, then I see the headlines, then I see my call to action buttons, and then how do I play around with the layouts and then the font sizes, and make sure that the video that's playing is able to have space where they know that this is the video, and everything is very tightly niched within the mobile experience, and that is really what I'm exploring right now, and I think there's a lot of potential. Essentially the whole era of mobile devices has only been a little bit short over 10 years. Like the first iPhone came out in 2007, and then iPhone just went past the 10 years anniversary with the iPhone 10, and there's just in terms of people looking at it from the aesthetic design point of perspective, there's still a lot of things that has been we have been doing things this way, and then when we think about the mobile, we just translate whatever we have been doing on the desktop and turn it into mobile, and that has not been the best experience that we are giving to people. And this was even reminded to me, right, by Gabriel, and there was a few things that he mentioned, right, a lot of people will actually be watching, when they watch our ads on YouTube, or on Facebook, right, they actually watch it on the mobile devices. And then the moment they click on your button on the mobile devices, and the first thing that pops up right now in Facebook especially is a mobile browser that is integrated within Facebook. So you don't even jump out into your browser on a Chrome or any of the browsers that's on your mobile phone, right? And it straight away have an internal browser, right, that opens up within Facebook. So if you can make the experience of that it's really about how do you streamline the whole experience that you want to build traffic, and then as you get traffic in, when they click on your button and visit your landing page, right, the first thing they see is the first page with super giant headlines, right, and then they just don't see the rest of the page. They got turned off, and nowadays the attention span of people, right, especially coming from the game data point of view, right, it's really 3 seconds, man. If you cannot catch their attention in the first 3 seconds, right, then they are caught. They'll just, I'll close the browser, I'll just come back later if I feel that this is really something I've wanted. And then that will only be towards the people that really know of your product and then probably wanted your product in the first place. So is that all towards the origin story? I have no idea. I'm really not following any scripts. Just off the mind, I remember how the whole structure of the Epiphany bridge, along with the whole hero 2 stories, and how the whole origin story structure is going to be, and just do a little bit of just off my mind things that comes to me. And anyone that's watching this video, especially if you are watching this video on a mobile phone, if you agree with me, what I'm exploring is of a lot of values, right? And I'm ready to take all my knowledge that I've gained, right, from developing of mobile games, right, on the toughest market on the mobile platform itself. There's just so many games on your Apple App Store, right, that outweighs all the other apps that's on the App Store itself. And I really just wanted to apply what I've learned, right, and then bring more value to the audiences and crowd, right, of anyone that is going to build a funnel to really start to offer their product and services, right, and bring value to their customers. I think that you should start thinking about the mobile strategy. Probably you should start thinking from the mobile strategy first, then slowly move towards making the whole desktop version, right, also equally as optimized as how it looks on your mobile, since there's just going to be even more people, right, that's going to view your content on mobile, and we want to bring the best experience and value, right, to these people. Thank you so much for watching this video.